Hmm. Hey, hello, it's Sarah Otis in Healing Hands Holistic Therapies. And how are you doing today? It is a doozy of a day. I will say that. Today is November 18th, 2021. And tonight into tomorrow, we are going to pass through the lunar eclipse in Taurus, and that starts at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. So it'll be the 19th when it starts, and it's supposed to run till just after 6 a.m. And I was trying to let me bring it up because I've shared several posts in the Telegram group today talking about this because they were saying that, this is the first time um, this has occurred in, like, what was it? I'm thinking they said like 400 years, and I was thinking someone said 600 years. Let's see. Let's see. I think it was something I had shared yesterday. Jennifer Hoffman. Sorry, I'm going through postings. And this one from Carrie Samuels is talking about how these eclipses that we'll have, the lunar and the solar eclipse 2 weeks later, it's a new set that will run us through October of 2023. So we have a 2-year cycle. This is starting. So this will give you a glimpse of what to expect in 2022. And she's saying 600 years. So our longest partial lunar eclipse in almost 600 years will grace us. And it's funny how she's saying, I guess at its, is it the precipice, or what's the term? Because she's saying at 3:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I guess that's when it's going to be at its peak, like in the middle, because in that beginning phase, you'll only see a portion of it. And I guess that's the middle. And then the last part till 6 a.m. So, there's a lot of talk that, humanity's about to go through a huge transition. I mean, we're already going through it right now, hence one reason you haven't seen me much. um, I know so many of us are feeling it. Holy moly. And like several of the other posts I've, posted about was talking about, this is one of the ones from Kate Spreckley, talking about how this is going to enhance our awakening, healing both our individual and collective transformation. It might trigger us and trigger certain emotions in us that are going on, hence even trigger certain events in your life, people, relationships. Sorry, I'm living on my one kitty. This is the first time he's come out today, and it's now going on 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I've been concerned about him because there's some things that are going on in my house that are causing some extremely serious health issues for myself and for my kitty cats. It's quite concerning when they won't come out, because normally that's an animal's way of telling you they do not feel well. So let's see. Further down on this is talking about you may feel things building emotionally and physically within yourself. Be mindful of your energetic system as it's being prepared for the eclipse, and you may be experiencing both an emotional and physical detox of some kind. Observe what is happening. Don't absorb, observe. So just literally see it from the bird's eye view, be that fly on the wall, just looking down or flying around. Sorry, just like someone knocked on my door. Observing what's going on without taking it in. Because when we take it into our body, we'll feel it. And even though I know this, I myself right now, I'll be in the middle of observing, and then all of a sudden I absorbed it. And then I'll be like, oh my God, you'll feel the weight of the world. You'll feel the heaviness. You'll feel the pain, the anguish, the anxiety, like anger, angst. I mean, just different things. And you'll know who the heck you're tapping into. And one way you can say, is this mine? And you'll almost get an immediate, like, no, you'll get this response. And so if you know it's not yours, say, I choose not to own this or bring this into my body. Get out now. And then I'll go ahead and wrap myself once again. I will ask that God's light pass through me, clear me of anything that is not mine, or anything of mine that maybe is unhealed that's causing me stress. And then I wrap myself in his armor to keep myself protected. What's going on here? Sorry. I keep hearing this sound. Maybe the wind. Let's see. So it says, observe what is happening, ride the waves, and avoid getting tangled in what is surfacing. Because let me tell you, if you absorb it, the tentacles, I mean, they will come from every direction at you, and they will almost be like an octopus that will, take in its prey, or a jellyfish, wrap its tentacles around you, and then it stings you and, paralyzes you as they, either just hold on to you or drop you and something else consumes you. That's what the energies right now will do to you. It will literally paralyze you and consume you. And then you'll be passed on to something else to consume you and feed off of you. And it's just this endless loop. So she says, recognize that an energetic shift is brewing. Drop any resistance and trust that you are ready for whatever comes next. So be mindful of what is coming up for you. And you may have been feeling this rising. Now your head's underwater. And it keeps going. It just keeps going to now you can't see it anymore, into oblivion. And you may have been feeling this build for the last week or two, even months. One thing I've been using when, talking with some people right now is the analogy of a pressure cooker. You've got your pot and the lid's on and it's locked in place, and you got the little ticker. Now, I know in other parts of the world, the little ticker is different. But here in America, at least the one my mom has, she locks the lid of the pressure cooker, puts the little thing on top. It's like a circular, and then it's got like a little handle, and she sets it on top, and that thing it'll just kind of like fluctuate as the steam builds. And there is like a little circular rubber valve. And sometimes I've watched my mom, as a little girl, always scared of that thing because it made a lot of noise and a lot of steam. You could hear it building pressure, and she would take like a little paring knife and go over to that little rubber gasket and just give a little lift, and steam would fly out. And I was like, it would scare me. But mom's like, it needs to relieve a little pressure. And then that thing would start almost like whistling like a teapot would. So that can be us right now. We're building that pressure. And so sometimes when we need to go over that little rubber gasket and pop it up a little bit, we end up popping it out of our mouth. We release the tension by saying something, reacting to something or someone, rather than sitting and being present with it and being like, is that mine? Or is this someone else's projections at me or towards me? Or is this something that I've picked up by looking at, like, say, your phone or something like that? Does it even belong to me? And speaking of that, hold on. Keeping an eye on my phone because I silenced it so it won't be disturbed. But I'm waiting for some updates on some things. So that I don't have a doorbell ring and not know who's coming. So have you found yourself shooting off or typing something, responding in a reaction rather than sitting with it, asking if it was yours, or was it simply that person just spatting off as well? Because I've had a bunch of that come at me over this situation I'm dealing with that I can't speak of here. When people feel they're losing control of the situation, they are going to blah, blah, rant to release the pressure and tensions that are building in their bodies. Because we're going to notice more and more people can't maintain their own homeostasis, their own balance, because they're like this, because they're absorbing everything going on in the collective, because they're not. The biggest problem is when you come across people, and it could even be yourself as well, if you find that people can't be accountable for themselves or for their actions, they tend to make it everyone else's problem, in the sense they will project it onto other people and say, this is happening because of you. You won't do this, you won't do that, or you said this. So you're the problem, instead of them realizing their role in it and they've created, because we're all creating these problems, just like I'm part of the orchestrator creating what's going on in my life. But we create these events to help us, no matter how crazy and insane they might be. Like, why would I create such a fiasco? But we're creating them for us. So in the event, it's going to help us to bring up to the surface those tensions, those bubbling pressures and steam in our bodies, our internal, like we are a pressure cooker. And these things are building everywhere. I mean, all directions. And eventually we've got to burp it, burp it, to let pressure, just like when we were a baby. What did our mothers do? They put us up on their shoulder and patted our backs or our bottom, or kind of, rocked us back and forth to encourage us to burp. We're releasing pressure. So when you can realize and see that we are just a pressure cooker, and kind of laugh about it. Sorry, my eye is really itching. it kind of helps you put things into context a little bit and release all this angst of everything else that's going on around us, and realize that these are things meant to encourage the burping, the release of energy. You hear that? The release of energy. So we're here on this is how my understanding of how have perceived what's going on, why we're here. Sorry, this one curl won't stay away. Some people refer to this as a slave planet, that we are here to undo all the karma, heal ourselves once and for all, so that as we ascend and go through our awakening, we're not taking the karma with us. And I know I shared something this week from that Liness, however she does her account. Scroll up through here. He was talking about, yeah, Linzess or something like that, where you have the third dimension is the mind. The fourth dimension is the body. And I think she said the fifth dimension is the soul. And you might have heard many of us, even myself, talking about how we need to get back to our hearts. Our heart is where our soul lies. That is where the truth of everything, our whole existence, lies right here in the heart. That's why I like the Anahata code so much, because we are working with that place and connecting, installing, reactivating those codes within us that are laying dormant, just asking to be utilized. Because when we connect back to our internal source, our truth, therein lies everything we need. But this planet, our education, our learning, our working, our being raised and reared by, our parents, they've indoctrinated us to believe that we have to seek everything outside of ourselves, and that we must be entertained. We can entertain ourselves. Did you ever have, as a kid, I pray that you had a very active, happy, joyful childhood where you were able to go out and have an amazing imagination and connect with what our parents called imaginary friends. They weren't imaginary, they were real. It's just our parents have gone through that level of consciousness that they no longer could see it unless they tuned into their heart space and turned into their inner child. They could see him again if they wanted to, whoever they played with. But that was a time that many kids were told, they don't exist, quit talking to, these imaginary friends. Some parents made their children feel bad, that they were crazy, that something was wrong with them. And even in today's day and age, as an adult, you will hear people try to call you crazy if you had an imaginary friend. They would try to label it as mental illness or many other things. That's when we had not gone through that indoctrination to take away our vision. And I blocked out both eyes, not just the human eyes, but I blocked out the third eye and the human eyes. Because as a child, both eyes are open, but most of it is coming from right here, because we don't know that there's a difference between these eyes and this eye. We only see through the one. But as we go up in age and we become more indoctrinated, we close this one off and only start to see through these, a very narrowed view. And I've got my blinders on. There's nothing going on outside of me. The world does not exist beyond this little tiny peephole. You're peripheral vision, many people will find disappears the older they get. Now, my peripheral vision is amazing. I mean, I see things going on back here, like, as your mother or father might have said as a kid, I see that, and you would be like, how do you see that? You have eyes in the back of your head, and they'd be like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And you often wondered, how did they see? But they wouldn't be looking at you. And a lot of it is they just had a knowing. Now, some parents are still tapped in and can see, and it can see anywhere. So many today in this time and age are purposely putting blinders on because they can't handle what's out here. It's too frightening, too scary. And this field out here also calls for accountability. And when one can't be accountable, oh God, this is too much to be accountable for. Oh my God. So if I just keep my blinders on, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You can't shoo this stuff away. You can try to will it away or blind it away. But it's still there. And I know many people right now that are going through that, and that's okay. That's where you're at. No judgment. Because sometimes we kind of have to go into that place because this outer world does get intense. It's just like, can I have 5 minutes of please? And a lot of times when we ask for that, it's like ding dong, everything's going off. Your phone's dinging, your doorbell's ringing, your phone's ringing, TV's, an alert's going off, something, kids screaming at you, husband wants you, da 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 da. And we created that in our subconscious thoughts because we were so scared. What would happen if I truly gave myself 5 minutes of quiet? Because the silence many times can be more scary than all the noise for many people. Because there's this intensive anticipation of what's going to happen next, waiting for the other shoe to drop. I can't handle anymore. This is too intense. This is too much. Oh my God, just give me a break. Go away. Da, 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 da. And that's where so many of us are at. I mean, we are up to here. We've been as patient and as quiet for as long as possible. But now, pressure cooker lid is going to pop off, even though the handle was locked and the little latch was on it. Excuse my language, that some bitch is gonna pop. That lid is gonna go flying 50 miles down the road. And everybody's gonna be like, what just happened? What did just happen? Oh, and that's kind of like what it seems like each day, especially if you're connected and tapped into these black rectangles, phones and our TVs, our computers. because we are connected to something outside of us. We're connected. Remember, I said we all go outside of ourselves to find answers. Guilty of it too, because there's this aspect of that. What is it? FOMO, fear of missing out. That we're going to miss something. And I know some days I'm like, I'm not going to, continue sharing what I'm sharing in the group, because I don't want people to feel that they can't go find the answers themselves within, or, go, if they do need to go outside themselves. Something keeps telling me to share these different viewpoints of different things that are going on. So I will continue to share as I'm led to. But as always, I always encourage you to go within yourself. Yes, there are times that I'm like, I don't have time. I'm not getting the answers. I go looking. Because when we get in those states of overwhelm and stressed out, I mean, the blinders are on so much. I mean, we're only getting like a partial view. It'd be like this. This would be my view. And it's just like your logical mind goes out the window. You're like, did someone tie a string to it? Can we reel it back in and try to put it back in and seal it up so the pressure cooker can't blow again and release your logical mind? So, I mean, as you can see, if you allow, sorry, I keep moving my lozenge. If you allow the outside chaos to get to you and you absorb it, it will consume you. Now, what do they call us when you go buying something? A consumer. So you are consuming their projections of, oh, you must have this product. You need this. This will heal. Da 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 da. It will make your life so much better and amazing. It will cost you $10 million, but you must buy now because supplies are limited. And if you don't order now, you may not get it and you will miss out. I could sell you these nail clippers and tell you they're the most amazing thing. They will manicure your nails in ways you will never have experienced before. But you must buy now. Only 3 in stock. I mean, you get it? So we are consuming, we are eating everything they're dishing out at us. It'd be like them, you're taking a carrot and you're peeling off the skin. They are they're peeling that carrot right in, and we're eating it. We are a consumer because we consume. So when you learn the verbiage of what our entire lives uses, really look at the words we use. They talk about it being spellings, like you're casting a spell with your words. And you go and look at the meanings of a lot of these words. We wonder when they call this a slave planet. Right. So the more you wake up to this ruse that's been this spell that's been cast over us, so that we will be consumers and consume their shit and their garbage, even if we don't have the money to consume it, they will still manipulate our minds and our play on our emotions so that we will find a way to buy this $10 million bottle of rose water. We don't really want it, but we have to have it. I will sell every organ in my body to pay for it. Know anybody like that? I had a neighbor many, many years ago. Their mother lived with them. Every day, I kid you not, a post office, UPS, FedEx, at that time, DHL was still regular delivery. Every one of those trucks would come every day, and not just one package, and maybe like 6. One guy, he had like, there was probably 20 some boxes. They were on both sides of the door. I mean, there would have been just enough that the person could have opened the storm door and gotten out, start bringing the boxes in, but had to get them out of the way. So when the person tried to pull their car into the garage, they wouldn't hit all the boxes. The lady admitted that her mother was addicted to consuming. She watched the channels like QVC, Home Shopping Network, and all these things. So she was constantly bombarded with the $10 million items you must have now. You must have now. You know, they do all these hand things that are neurolinguistics. They're saying certain words and they're using certain hand gestures. There may even be certain symbols or colors behind you or the person presenting for you to consume. And if you're anyone who watches the news, same thing's going on there. You may not be buying something to consume, but you're still buying into something mentally and emotionally. So you are still consuming. I mean, they're taking their fist and shoving it straight in your mouth or up your nose or in your eyeball or in your ear, wherever they can fit it. You all probably like, wow, Sarah, you're quite crazy today. That's right. So before we move any further, I'm going to spray some of this $10 million rose oil, rose water. You'll understand in a minute. Rose water is very good to clear the energy, to clear the air. A lot of times you can find something like this in the beauty care section, because a lot of times people use it as a skin tonic to spray on their face. It hydrates, moisturizes, and rose water and a rose essential oil is one of the highest frequency oils out there. So if you spray something like that, it's going to clear the vibration and frequency of the space. Sorry, my lips get dry as I talk. So if you're in a situation where there's a lot going on, you live somewhere that you can't escape something, using stuff like this, high frequency oils, listening to, there's countless videos on YouTube. That's one of those that will play for like maybe 3, 6, 24 hours. And it is the solfeggio frequencies that are the high frequencies that help to raise the vibration, clear the energies and frequencies of a space. I would highly recommend it. Also, there is this app that I have installed on my phone. I think it's called the Z app. Z app. So it is the Rife machine frequencies. And so this is what, I don't know if it's going to show it. This is what it looks like when you pulled up and you, sequences. So you would click on the sequences. So you can also come up here, and type in maybe what you're searching for. Because I mean, if you sat and scrolled through this, it'd take forever. But say you want something for acne. So it's going to bring up something, and you'll see it's got a whole list of frequencies. So you would push the play button, and I'm going to turn down the volume because sometimes it's loud. So here you're kind of hearing like a beep. And so that one is supposed to run for 2.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes, that tone. And then it'll shift through the rest of them. So a lot of times that unnerves me. So I will turn the volume completely off. And I will first say that the frequencies are still doing their job regardless if I can hear them, because it's all energy. And so you can have that running as well. So I am running that to help with some stuff overnight while I'm sleeping. And I am feeling that I'm noticing a difference, a shift. So utilize these things as much as possible to make your environment, external environment and internal environment, as calm and peaceful as possible. Okay. I want to play, speaking of tones. So let's just kind of have a little, if you're not somewhere where your feet are on the ground, if you've got shoes on, if you can, take them off so that your bare feet are touching the ground wherever you are, whether it's the carpet, hardwood floor, concrete, grass, wherever. Okay. I want you to go inside and just tell everything else, taking time for me. And just close your eyes. I'm going to turn my video off so you're not distracted by me. Just quiet your mind. If you have to, you can put your mind on the little cell. Say, I will deal with you. I'm ready. Just quiet your mind. And you to put any thoughts, or anxieties, or worries, or woes on that little leaf boat and send it down the river. You may even begin to notice your breath is slowing. Just feeling a nice calm and peace coming over you. So just continue to just breathe. And I'm being called to run the Arcturian holy fire. If you want to, you can envision a green flame rising up from the ground underneath your feet. And it almost envelops your entire body. And it can if you want it to. And don't be frightened by it. It's not hot. It's a healing flame. And it may rise up and go straight into the bottoms of your feet and go up in your body. Allow it to go however it wants to go. You are guiding this. None of this can happen if you don't allow it. It is simply there if you wish to receive it. The holy fire comes forth to help to clear out all that is burdening you, weighing you down, causing stress, anxiety, and illness in your field. All the things that you no longer wish to experience, you can toss into this flame. Give it anything and everything you wish to give it. You can watch it or just know that it's personally being evaporated, completely removed from your being. If your monkey mind is going, toss that into the fire. And I'm going to read a command that was shared by Alicia Hartzell. And I'm going to speak it in first person. So just say, I am that I am, and I give permission to receive. So it'll be as if I am speaking for you, okay? I am immune from accepting random, negative, or infiltrated thought seed or programs from becoming suggestion, energetic, or physical code. I am immune from accepting infiltration beyond my own personal infinity sphere. And I hold strong that boundary with the sovereignty of the Excalibur Codex. I ask and call all light beings and angelic ascended masters and archangel structures of positive, polarized source consciousness to stand by me in my endeavors as a light warrior of Gaia in transition. I hold fast to the diamond light and rainbow gemstone codes and fields as an activated starseed of multidimensional awareness. I make this my call, my plea, my bond, and my forever code. I do not consent to the dark agendas of control, manipulation, inoculation, indoctrination, slavery, or mind control. I do not consent to giving up my freedom in any way or form. I claim my divine sovereignty. So shall it be, and so it is. Within this, I stand with compassion, love, and gratitude for myself and all of humanity. Just take a nice deep breath. Allow that to integrate your being. The green flame of the holy fire is starting to go down. I'm asking for you to toss into it anything else you are ready to let go of. It can be your worries, your fears, your woes, and your cares. Now, you can't toss people in, but you can toss in their projections and their thoughts and words and ideologies about you or of you. That you have free will to release. Now it's simmering down. It's going back into Earth, into Gaia. Just take some nice cleansing deep breaths. Breathe that fresh new energy and air throughout your body. And you may even draw up through your feet some fresh energy from Mother Earth, from blessed Gaia. And ask that she help to ground, nourish, and integrate all that just took place. And begin to notice the surface underneath your feet or underneath your body, feeling the texture, hearing the sounds around you. Might even be smelling certain smells. Awareness coming more and more back into the now. And when you're ready, open your eyes, fully awake, fully aware, and fully alert in this now moment. Hopefully that calmed you down, helped you find some grounding. So I felt we needed that before we went into the codes. The codes in itself could have done it, but I think there is that thinking mind that we were all going to be two up here and not down here. to truly grasp the magnitude of what these codes are going to help. I've got 2 of them for you all. So you all get a power punched offering today. Okay, so collect yourself. If you have some water, have a little drink of water here. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first question I have, is there a system frequency for highest good to assist each of us with getting and remaining grounded into our bodies, personal truth, and lights as we get ready to cross through the lunar eclipse and full moon in Taurus? And it came up from, excuse me, the color therapy category, and it was the color lavender. So, of course, lavender is in the spectrum of the purple, and it talks about purple is the color of imagination and spirituality. Excuse me, my pressure cooker is releasing here. Excuse me, something's wanting to clear out of me. And the thing is, not to give a negative connotation to what I'm getting ready to share, purple is also the color of illusions. And you may notice right now in the, where's my thing? In these little black boxes, whether it be our phone, our computer, or our TVs, are a lot of the commercials, the ads, the TV shows all have purple, whether purple like backlighting or they're wearing purple. And don't think it's about imagination or spirituality. It's about illusions. Everything that is presented in these black mirrors, whether it be our phones or our computers or our TVs, is all an illusion to entertain us. But many of us are like, it's there to inform us. But information is also an illusion because it is a perceived spelling, meaning verbiage, of that person who's casting the spell. Like we call the person the broadcaster on the television. So they're casting illusions. So they're getting your mind, your mental mind, to create an illusion of something that doesn't exist or is not there. But we can't see the difference because we have been trained from a little kid up till now and indoctrinated to believe things that are broadcasted us and not be able to see through the illusions, because what does our mind do? It will try to create something that doesn't exist. Hence the whole last 2 years. I'm not saying that certain things don't exist, but a lot of it would not be where we are at if they had not cast all these illusions, and then everybody took that in their mind and we created a symphony. So when it gets into this mental mind, we can create things that do not exist. I mean, we can create problems that never existed or were ever going to exist. But it's our fears that created them from the illusion, because we weren't being shown what was real. Because we were only being shown a small vantage point. We weren't being given the whole vantage point, the whole view, whole perspective. Okay. So going further into this, it says, purple stimulates imagination and inspires high ideals. So it's almost like we are being played upon with using the color purple to play upon our own innate imagination and that creative energy that our mind can create. They're manipulating it like the puppet to stimulate an imaginary world that fits their box, that fits in our screens, our TVs, computers, whatever it be. So everything's flipped. So it's doing the opposite of helping us to inspire inspiration and high ideals, but we're getting caught up in this illusionary world. So I'm going to stop that and I'm going to continue on. Hopefully you're grasping where I'm coming from. So it says, talks about purple and violet, which is going to be your lavender, assists those who seek the meaning of life and spiritual fulfillment. It expands our awareness, connecting us to higher consciousness. For this reason, it is associated with transformation of the soul, and the philosophers of the world are often attracted to it. It says it can represent the future, the imagination, and dreams, while spiritually calming the emotions. They inspire and enhance psychic ability and spiritual enlightenment, while at the same time keeping us grounded. The color violet relates to the fantasy world and the need to escape from the practicalities of life. It is the daydreamer escaping from reality. Says from a color psychology perspective, purple and violet promote harmony of the mind and the emotions, contributing to mental balance and stability, peace of mind, a link between the spiritual and the physical worlds, between thought and activity. Violet and purple support the practice of meditation. It inspires unconditional and selfless love, devoid of ego, encouraging sensitivity and compassion. And it goes on and on. Let's see. I was on to say violet is the color of humanitarian, using its better judgments to do good for others, combining wisdom and power with sensitivity and humility. It can achieve a lot for those less fortunate. Also associated with royalty and nobility, creating an creating an impression. Impression is another word for perspective or a view of luxury, wealth, and exuberance and extravagance. Purple has power. It has a richness and quality to it that demands respect. It says too much of the color purple can promote or aggravate depression in some. It is one color that should be used extremely carefully in very small amounts by those who are vulnerable to these type depressed states. So when you think back to what I was just saying at the beginning of talking about purple, almost once you see it, you can't unsee these things. So just pay attention to how many TV shows, commercials, movies, ads, billboards, outfits people are wearing that are purple. Hence, I've got some purple on, and I didn't even pay attention to that. And that was before I knew what the codes were today. You're going to notice it in excess. So what does that last little phrase say? Too much of it can promote or aggravate depression in some. Those that are more vulnerable should use it in very small quantities. If you think, what have they been doing for the last almost 2 years? Well, it's been going on for probably your entire lifetime. You just weren't aware of it. They have been suppressing our immunity, putting people into a mental state of depression, anguish, fear, scared to leave their house, scared to touch anything, scared, heaven forbid, to be around somebody, scared of their animals, scared of their house, scared of the doorknob, scared of their neighbors, scared of their car, scared of the air, scared of the sun, scared of the water, food, da 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 da. All of that gets you in a psychosis. So the more they keep giving the subliminal messages of purple, what are they doing? They're promoting and aggravating even more depression. And if you listen to the commercials here in the United States, it's one after another for pharmaceutical, depression medicine, cancer, and then they read off the harmful side effects, and you're just like, why the F would anybody take this stuff? Instead of looking into right here and what's going on in the world. But that's how they have twisted our perception so that we cannot see it. Okay. But this one was a heavy one because the thing is, as you can see, everything is flipped. So the bowl is all upside down. And we need to get it back this way so that we can see the benefits of purple, but also how it can negatively affect us. But we don't have to allow it to negatively affect us because, you know, when we go back to my asking, you know, I'm asking what's going to help us to stay grounded and remaining grounded into our bodies, these meat suits, our personal truths, what's right here, and our light. And that is our connection to our source and God. And when you are those connected, they can paint the entire world purple. And it's not going to be able to affect you. Okay? All a perception. Remember, observe, don't absorb. All right, so let's assume the position. Right hand over your center of your chest, your heart, left palm goes up. We ask for, accept, align with, and hold this Anahata code with gratitude. We align with the color lavender. 77298 55426. 77298 55426. 77298 55426. 77298 55426. 77298 55426. 77298 55426. 77298 55426. Left palm over your right. Just breathe in that grounded energy and know and believe in all of your being that you are worthy of this, you're deserving, and you can have it. That you need no one's permission. Sorry. Blow that stuff out. Allow it just to kind of just sink in, okay? Whew. I can feel that one right in the center of my chest. All right. Let's go into the next one. So is there an assistancy? Is there an assisted frequency for highest good to assist us with permanently anchoring this groundedness so that life's curveballs chaos, stresses, and stresses don't knock off our frequency or knock it down, making us susceptible to outside intrusion. And what arose was the flower essence, rose, like rose, hence my $10 million beautiful bottle you must have now. It's beautiful. It was the rose essential, rose, like a rose flower essence. Sorry. Sorry, this one website I brought up, it's got this little AI chat bot thinking you won't help, and it had a whole screen full of, how can we help you today? How can we help you today? So this is a blend that this one particular company has made. But it talks about how it soothes and uplifts. It soothes the heart, calms the mind, and supports emotional equilibrium. So I just want to read a little snippet of what they wrote here. Because it talks about its rose is a highly intuitive flower and an age-old symbol of heart. It holds special nourishment for the mind, body, and spirit. So let's see. They talk about, it says, throughout time, people have relied on rose to nourish the shin or the spirit. Shin is in traditional Chinese medicine term that refers to our psychological health and well-being. Our unique preparation of their rose, she's talking about how it calms the mind and soothes the heart. It simultaneously relaxes and uplifts, making it an important ally to address both the hyperactive mental states and the emotional heaviness of sadness, grief, heartache, apathy, and emotional trauma. It anchors a restless heart, comforting and soothing it to promote an emotional equilibrium. So when I was asking for something to permanently anchor us into our groundedness of our spirit, from the previous asking, our body, personal truth, and light, so that anything going out on in the world can't knock us off and lower our frequency. Because when they knock us off or lower our frequency, it gives, like, there's a little gap and something can just seep right in and infiltrate us. And a lot of times you don't know the infiltration is there till all of a sudden you're just like very angry, or you're crying, or you're very hungry and you're like, this isn't mine. Or you may not realize it's not yours and you go and you eat a bunch of food, or you spat off stuff at somebody and be like, someone may be like, is everything okay with you? You're not acting normal. You'll be like, yeah, I've only been feeling like this since earlier, after I watched that movie, or, I watched that YouTube video, or I read that post, and I just haven't felt right since. There's your hint. Something snuck in and infiltrated your field. Let me see. See what else on this I want to read. It says rose embodies spiritual love. And of course, they're talking about their tincture. It supports more ease and love in our lives. It connects and builds bridges between heart and mind, ourselves and others, inner and outer. It offers us the opportunity to remove the thorns of past hurts and the imprints left on the subconscious mind by past experiences, which then color our responses, states of mind, emotional reactions, and open us to the sweetness of our lives. So basically, they're talking about how this tincture heals the heart, soothes and nourishes and is nutritive, it says. Nourishes the yin that keeps us supple and fluid. It bolsters immunity and digestion, supports a healthy inflammatory response. This other page. So this other one was our little help screens. No, I don't help. So this one is just a regular, well, it says nourish and nurture rose flower essence. So they use a Rosa rugosa flower essence. So it says it's good when you're needing loving support. It simultaneously soothes and uplifts the heart, mind, and soul. It's supportive for the healing of grief, heartbreak, nervousness, fear, feelings of panic, sadness, emotional trauma, apathy, disconnection, and daily stress. It energetically strengthens us, supports emotional equilibrium, helps us to feel safe and contained. They're talking about how their rose flower essence can help quieten an overactive mind and connect us to our essential nature, boosting feelings of self-worth. This flower essence is an excellent ally when our lives get a bit rough and stressful. It provides a level of energetic protection, symbolized by its many thorns intended to keep disruptive things away, that can be used to increase feelings of protection, containment, and loving support. This makes it an excellent tool for healers or healthcare practitioners. I can't get it out. It can also boost self-confidence and supports clear direction and appropriate boundaries. Oh, so you can see how much it relates back to my asking of, helping us to permanently anchor in this groundedness, because the chaos of the world is not going to stop anytime soon if you don't stop it right here. Sorry, now I'm so stuffed up. Because remember, the chaos only exists right here. We perceive it, we create it, we imagine it. Now, I'm not saying there's not stuff going on out there, but we are the conductor of the symphony of our lives. So we magnetize into our existence what we perceive we should be experiencing or doing or saying or being. And we magnetize the chaos, the crazy relationships, the crazy boss, landlord, neighbor, friend, child, spouse, illness, disease, so on and so on, because there's something we're meant to learn from it to help us right the wrongs of previous karma so we can close the book and be done with it. And it's going to come in its own package and own format. But if we can control our imagination, we can create it to be peaceful rather than. And it doesn't mean if yours is crazy making rather than peaceful is any make you bad or good, right or wrong. Sometimes we have to create the crazy format to really shift it out. And it may not just be one thing we're clearing out. We may be clearing thousands or millions of years of karma, packaging it up and blowing it off and be done with it. So don't beat yourself up if you're in the stage rather than the peaceful. Just wished it on. It's okay. We are each individually where we're meant to be, experiencing what we're experiencing through our creation and imagination to ultimately help us to move forward out of this karmic loop and cycles. Okay, so let's assume the position and get this one installed. All right, left palm up, right hand over your heart. We ask for, accept, align with, and hold this Anahata code with gratitude. We align with the rose flower essence. 77892 553 684. 77892 553 684. 77892 553 684. 77892 553 684. 77892 553 684. 77892 553 684. 77892 553 684. Left palm over your right. And set a new intention for your mind. What you feel you need. Whether you need the calm or the craziness to shift out whatever is going on in your life right now, that you ultimately know that it is happening for you to release you, and that you surrender to it in whatever format and fashion it chooses to show up, so that you can fully and completely surrender it now and be done with it. I'm not saying you just surrendered it and it's done. I'm asking that you create the energy of it. So whatever what's going on in your life, you're going to find that brings some closure, because what do eclipses do? Close things out and eclipse it. Cut out. So the rest of today into tonight, think about the things that you want to put on the chopping block, cut out of your life. And really think about it. And you might even look at your list and say, maybe take each individual. You could have 1,000 things listed. Take each one. How has this served me? How has this served me? 2, what has it taught me? 3, what have I learned? 4, what could I do differently? And 5, how can I take all of this and make something better? Okay, so I think I'll leave that for now. I'll spray a little more rose. One final. It's been a pleasure as always. And I just want to toss in here, if any of you all feel guided to give in kind and offer a donation for my time today. I'm not expecting or asking. I'm just simply putting the information out there and giving you the option to choose, if you have taken benefit from what I've shared today, that you would be willing to give in kind. I still do intend and plan to do something program-wise before this year ends. It's just my chaos in my life right now here. It's helping me shift out some old stuff that's like goes back to BC times. Thousands of year old ancestral traumas it's kind of consumed and taken up most of my time. So, but I know what's happening for me, and it's something bigger and better is coming along. So stay tuned. I will share, and even if it's just minor things, just calls that people join for a small price. So until next time, realize the beautiful, radiant light that is you. Don't allow anyone to snuff it out or dampen it. Keep relighting it. Allow yourself to blaze into the beautiful essence that is you. Keep on shining. Much love. Bye-bye.